Welcome to St. Ignatius and our presentation this evening of Peter and the Wolf. We are so happy you are all here, and thank you very much for spending a part of your summer evening with us. Now, many of you know the story of Peter and the Wolf. It's a very famous one. Maybe you've heard it several times, maybe the music, or maybe, well, you have performed this amazing story. But did you know this delightful symphonic fairy tale for children is the most frequently performed work of its composer, Sergei Prokofiev? And this guy wrote a lot of music. It was commissioned in 1936 by Natalia Satz, and she was the director of the Central Children's Theater in Moscow. It was first performed in April 1936 for a group of young pioneers, which is basically the equivalent of the Boy Scouts here in the U.S. This evening we have some very fine assistants who will be helping us tell the story. On my far right is Miss Parker, and she will play the part of the duck. Her sister Regan, who will play the part of the cat and the bird, and Tadeo, who will play the part of the wolf. Now, as you know, this is an orchestra piece, and various instruments denote the various animals. For example, the bird is played by the flute, but tonight will sound like this. The duck by the oboe. The cat by the clarinet. The wolf by 3 French horns. And the hunters coming into the forest by kettle drums. Grandfather, who's a rather stern person, and you don't mess with him, the bassoon. And finally, our hero of the story, Peter, is played by the string section. So, let us begin our story. Early one morning, Peter opened the gate and went out into the big green meadow. On the branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend. All is quiet, chirped the bird gaily. Soon a duck came waddling around. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. Seeing the duck, the little bird flew down upon the grass, settled next to the duck, and shrugged his shoulders. "What kind of bird are you if you can't fly?" said he. To this the duck replied, "What kind of bird are you if you can't swim?" and dived into the pond. They argued and argued, the duck swimming in the pond, the little bird hopping along the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. He noticed a cat crawling through the grass. The cat thought, "The bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab him." Stealthily, she crept toward him on her velvet paws. "Look out!" shouted Peter, and the bird immediately flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked angrily at the cat from the middle of the pond. The cat crawled around the tree and thought, "Is it worth climbing up so high? By the time I get there, the bird will have flown away." Grandfather came out. He was angry because Peter had gone to the meadow. "It is a dangerous place. If a wolf should come out of the forest, then what would you do?" Peter paid no attention to grandfather's words. Boys like him are not afraid of wolves. But grandfather took Peter by the hand, led him home, and locked the gate. No sooner had Peter gone than a big gray wolf came out of the forest. In a twinkling, the cat climbed up the tree. The duck quacked and, in her excitement, jumped out of the pond. But no matter how hard the duck tried to run, she could not escape the wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, catching up with her. And then he got her, and with one gulp, swallowed her. And now, this is how things stood. The cat was sitting on one branch, the bird on another, and not too close to the cat as they're social distancing. While the wolf walked around and around the tree, looking at them with greedy eyes. In the meantime, Peter, without the slightest fear, stood behind the closed gate, watching everything that was going on. He ran home, got a strong rope, and climbed up the high stone wall. One of the branches of the tree, around which the wolf was walking, stretched out over the wall. Grabbing hold of the branch, Peter lightly climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Fly down and circle around the wolf's head, only take care he does not catch you." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf snapped angrily at him from this side and that. Now, how the bird did worry that wolf, how he wanted to catch him. But the bird was too clever, and the wolf simply could not do a thing about it. Meanwhile, Peter made a lasso and carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump wildly, trying to get loose. But Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree, and the wolf's jumping only made the rope around his tail tighter. Just then, the hunters came out of the woods, following the wolf's trail and shooting as they came. But Peter, sitting in the tree, said, "Don't shoot! The bird and I have already caught the wolf. Now, help us take him to the San Francisco Zoo." Now, imagine the triumphant procession. Peter at the head, after him, the hunters leading the wolf. And winding up the procession, Grandfather and the cat. Grandfather tossed his head discontentedly. Well, and if Peter had not caught the wolf, what then? Above them flew the bird, chirping merrily. My, what brave fellows we are, Peter and I. Look what we have caught. And if you would listen very carefully, you could hear the duck quacking inside the wolf, because the wolf, in his big hurry, had swallowed her alive. And to our assistants, Parker, Regan, and Tadeo, thank you very much. And thanks to all of you for being with us this evening. We hope you come back to St. Ignatius, and we will see you all very soon. Good night.